In this video, I'm going to share with you why I believe the rank and rent business model is broken, what I did to fix it, and how you can do the same. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Nick Wood, and I want to share this with you really quickly so that you actually have the confidence to finish this video, because I don't want you to waste your time, and I don't think you should trust anybody on the internet, because 99% of people are full of crap, and you don't even know if I am or not. So here we go. I've been doing this since 2016. That doesn't mean anything. However, I will tell you I've made every single mistake in the book, and that includes going into the wrong city, picking the wrong niche, hiring the wrong people, firing the wrong people, spending money in cities on ads that I'm not even advertising in the correct city, losing thousands of dollars doing that. I have lost money doing everything possible, things that are just embarrassing to say. All the way up until 2019, I went $60,000 in debt. I was this close to quitting. I had my next sales job lined out. I was done with this business model. And luckily, I just, something told me I just have to, I'm almost there. And I was 3 feet from gold. 8 months later, that was December 2019. 8 months later, in July of 2020, my business, my agency hit $100,000 per month. That's, by the way, that is in top line, not in profit. And we did our first 7 figures in 2020. In 2021, we did just over 1.4 million, 1.45 million, and we have not looked back since. So that's all to say that I have been through it. I've tested, I don't know how many different niches I've gone into. I don't know how many different cities. I've tried a bunch of different countries, and I only speak from experience. Okay, so that, guys, what I want to talk about today is this business model. In theory, is perfect. Right? It makes so much sense. You pick a niche, concrete. You choose a city, Vegas. You build a website, boom. You rank it using SEO, search engine optimization, boom. And guess what? Leads pour in. You put a deal together with a local business owner. You sit back, you collect a check, and you go travel the world, right? It makes total sense. It's on paper. However, once you get into it, once you actually start doing it, you realize that it ain't that easy. It isn't just that simple. And what I didn't realize, what I failed to realize, is that doing it that way has its drawbacks, okay? And so what I mean is this. When I first got into this in 2016, I was just following this I bought this training. It was the one I knew about. I didn't even think that maybe there's other ones out there. And make no mistake, this was a really good training. But there were some things that were missing, and it was taught, I believed, incorrectly. Because, guys, in this business model, we pick a city, we pick a niche, we build a website. Well, guess what? It doesn't rank overnight. If I build a website today in Las Vegas for Las Vegas Concrete, it is not going to rank today. Even if I'm the best SEO in the world, even if I'm the most ninja gangster, keyboard gangster in the whole world, there's only so much you can do. There's only so many tricks and twiddles that you can do. And what I've seen in my experience is literally the most... You're going to be at least 4 to 6 months to rank a website, minimum. Now, some people say, oh, we'll get you ranked in 30 days. Baloney. I'll get you ranked in 60 days. Baloney. 90 days, I've seen it happen, but not very often. And a lot of times, 4 to 6 months is aggressive. Sometimes it takes 9 months. My first website was a bit shorter. It was probably about 4 months. It was a towing site. My second website was in a niche called crawl space encapsulation. It took me over, I think, 14 or 15, maybe even 18. I can't even remember. It was just a long time. I got my initial $1,000 to build it, and I didn't see money until that sucker started ranking it was at least over a year, maybe closer to a year and a half later. And so what happens, guys, is if you do it like we talk about it, rank and rent, you are going to, number one, wait 4 to 6 months minimum for a website to rank. And so you start thinking about it, well, how do you make money in the meantime? You don't. You can't make money in the meantime unless you start going into other services, which is what most of us do. We get in, we start building websites, and guess what? We start taking clients on for SEO. We start managing their website, which fundamentally breaks the whole reason that we got into the business, which is to remove the time versus dollars concept, so I don't have to sell my time for dollars. And now we're selling our time for dollars. And all of a sudden, we build this agency of $6,000, $8,000 SEO, and we forget about the reason we got into it, okay? So, or we take on website deals, or we take on consulting, or we start doing social media marketing to pay the bills until the websites rank. So that's one thing. The other thing, guys, is that just because you build a website and you have a solid SEO process, which, by the way, we teach inside of our program, inside of Digital Landlords. Just because you have a solid SEO process that has worked tens, hundreds of times does not mean it's going to work the same on this project. Sometimes it just doesn't work. It just for some reason it won't budge. And sometimes it's the competition, sometimes it's this, that, or the rest. We don't know. So number one is the time. It takes too long. Number two is you don't know necessarily if it's going to rank. Number three, this is what people don't realize, is just because you build LasVegasConcrete.com, you do your SEO and you rank it, does not mean you're going to get leads. Your page might be bad. Your page might not convert well. Or you might do what I did when I went into a city in Nebraska in a specific niche. I ranked it for all the major keywords. I never got a single lead on this website till the day I canceled the domain. Why? Because there wasn't any search volume, and I didn't even know how to research that or what. I just assumed that because I built a website there would be calls. There wasn't. Let me go a step further. Just because you have a website, let's say you build that Las Vegas Concrete and you rank it, congratulations, and it's getting leads. Okay, I won. And you took 4 to 6 months. You didn't, because guess what? You still don't know if there's a hungry business owner in Las Vegas that wants your jobs. And I've gone into cities and I'm getting leads and I'm cranking and whoa, yeah, baby, I'm going to make some money. And I call 10 business owners and there's so much business in that town, nobody wants the leads. Everybody's fat and happy. Everybody's good. And that's just the reality that happens, okay? And on the flip side, I've done this. I've built websites. I've gotten leads. And there's only 3 to 5 companies in that city, or maybe 5 to 7. And all of them are not hungry because they're like, yeah, but dude, I'm probably going to get those leads anyway. If you don't send them to me, they're probably going to find me anyway. So why? You know what I mean? So there's all these different factors. Then after that, guys, on top of that, we have to remember that even though we build a website, we build Las Vegas Concrete, we figure out how to rank it, we start getting jobs, we find a hungry business owner, we also need to make sure that hungry business owner closes jobs. Because if that person, as hungry as they are, doesn't close jobs, doesn't make money, they will eventually cancel. So there's all these steps, right? So imagine you come in and I'm like, okay, go build 10 websites. Go build 20 websites. Have you calculated what that costs? I know it's not like building houses, but when you start getting into the 10s, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, you start stacking up. And that's one of the reasons, part of the reason I got into debt. And in 2019, when I was about to get out of this business, I sat down and I was like, this is the right model. I know it is. There's just a few things wrong. And I knew it was the right model because I knew I needed to own my own business. If I wanted to get to, my goal was $100,000 a month. I had to own my own business, check. It had to be recurring revenue, check. It had to be online because I wanted to travel, check. It had to be something I had full control over, check. It checked all the boxes. And so I started projecting, my numbers, and I got a spreadsheet and I was like, all right, let's assume I build 10 websites and only 5 of them are actually good. And I started doing all these projections and I'm like, look, it's going to be a year and a half before I'm going to even come close to paying off the debt, A, before I'm in the green, B, and before I can even get excited about this. And so that's where the whole concept, this is where I believe that I've completely changed the game, and then I don't think you guys are even, it's not even worth going into if you're not going to do it this way. But I started thinking, there's got to be a way that we can sell these websites up front. Why can't we get the business owners to pay for the website, get them to agree up front, use their money, and build it out as the website's ranking? And that's where the whole idea of, let's get some leads up front, let's run a few ads, let's get some leads, let's close the deal, and then let's build it out. So what I've done, guys, and some of you guys have been following me, so this might be a tiny bit redundant, but instead of doing rank and rent, instead of building a website and ranking it, we don't build a website. We go and we get the deal. We rent a website that we haven't even built, and I'm going to explain that in 2 seconds. We go and get the deal. We have a contract. We have a credit card, and now I'm going to build my property, my asset, that I'm going to sell you the phone calls to with your money. It's absolutely backwards, and it makes no sense, but it makes all the sense in the world, and I freaking love it. And the biggest companies in the world, the biggest construction companies in the world do this. I'm going to give you an example. I was in Dubai a couple weeks ago, and there's a huge company. If you guys have been to Dubai, you've heard of this company called Emaar. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's everywhere. You see it on the buildings, and I've even heard it's government owned somehow. I'm not sure how that works, but hey, whatever. Anyway, what these guys do, they're everywhere. They're in the malls, they're whatever. They have these projects going on, and you come in, they do the presentation, and basically They have it set up pretty smart. They go, they show you what's going to happen. They're like, hey, it's going to go through because it's government backed. We're a big company, and they're correct. And here's what the project's going to look like. It's this much total, but you're going to pay a percentage up front, and then we're going to do installments until the project's done, and then you're going to own it. And by the way, based on statistics, based on data, this thing's going to be worth 50% more when it's done than when you started. And guess what? They use everybody else's money to build the project. So they use the first initial people that have a little bit of vision to build the project, and then they just make everything gravy, and they don't even have to go and raise capital. And maybe they do on top of that, I don't know, but it's freaking genius. They're literally pre-selling these huge complexes that they own, and they're getting stupid rich off of it. So if these massive companies, you guys go look up this company, Emaar, I think it's one of, if not the biggest company in the world, at least in Dubai. If they're doing it, what can we learn from it? Well, we can learn that why would I use my cash when I could use somebody else's? Okay, now, I'm not going to go stand in a mall and wait for concrete guys and tree service guys to come to me. So what are we going to do instead? The equivalent of me standing in a mall and handing out brochures and coming, let's give you a gift card to listen to our presentation. I'm going to give you some free leads and get your attention. Boom, here's a couple leads. I'm going to run some ads. So basically what we do, guys, in a nutshell, instead of building a website, we build a landing page. Very, very, very simple. Okay, we don't even have to pay for it. You could use a subdomain on Weebly, Wix, whatever. We get a tracking number that you pay for $5. Okay, $5 a month. You're not going to need it for a full month because you're going to get a deal before that. If you do, okay, you spent $5. So your tracking number is all you're going to spend on, right? You're going to get some copy, some content. Doesn't need to be organic. You can go use AI because you're not going to rank this website. So that takes 2 seconds. You don't have to put sweat equity into it. And you're done. You go set up a Google ad. You turn on, $10 a day, $5 a day, $15 a day, and you start pushing traffic to this landing page. And guess what? If you've done the research correctly, if you know how to set up ads, if you know what the landing page should look like, all those things make sense. Guess what starts happening? This little guy starts to ring, and you got leads. And guess what? You now get to go and call business owners and give them free leads in advance and let them know, hey, Mr. Business Owner, Mrs. Business Owner, before we even talk business, I want to give you a couple leads and then we'll talk. And by the way, let's make no mistake about it, Mr. Business Owner, I am here to earn your business. I don't want to be, sneaky about that, but I don't even want to talk about that. I want to be different than everybody else. Take these for free, go make some money, whatever, and then let's talk. Are you open to that? I'm sure you are because I saw you're running Google Ads. So you're already aggressive, you're excited, you want to grow. So this makes perfect sense. You want to take a couple free leads? Who's going to say no to that? Nobody, right? If you present it well, you're not weird about it, you don't make it sound scammy, that's it. You give them a couple free leads, get them on a Zoom call, boom, 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 close the deal, get the credit card, and then you can go and now you can build your website. You can buy your domain, do the content properly. This is your asset. You can take your time, get some nice images. And guess what? The entire time you're building the website, the entire time you're ranking it, you're not in that much of a hurry because you're making money the entire time. You're making money the entire time. You're building your own asset with somebody else's money. This is the game, guys. So I truly believe this business model, it's the perfect model, but it has to be flipped on its head. That makes it the perfect model. Yes, theoretically, you build a site, it ranks, you rent it out, boom. But it doesn't work like that because not every website ranks. And not every website gets leads. And not every website gets enough leads. And not every website that you build is in a city that has a hungry business owner. And every hungry business owner doesn't know how to close. And you don't think about those things until you're like me and you've done 100 and you've seen each one of these scenarios where you thought it was going to work and it didn't and you lost thousands and thousands of dollars. That's why I make these videos, guys. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.